Welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we're jumping right into something completely fascinating. We're tearing down the physical and financial blueprint needed to build a high-yield, professional indoor grow operation. You hear a lot of generalized numbers thrown around in this industry, right? People guessing at costs. But today, we're throwing out the guesswork. We're going to look at a highly detailed, real-world project estimate so you can see exactly where every single dollar goes when you set up a commercial-scale facility. Let's get right into it.
Here's the roadmap for today. We'll start with the scale and yield, then move on to building the room shell. After that, climate and power systems, followed by grow tech and supplies, and finally, we'll hit the final price tag.
Section 1, the scale and yield. Let's look at the massive end goal. So the million-dollar question, well, maybe not quite a million, but you get the idea, is this. What does it actually take to grow 600 pounds indoors? Just visualize that volume for a second. It's massive. We're not talking about a casual hobby setup tucked away in a spare closet. Oh no, this is true agricultural manufacturing. Setting up a space capable of hitting that kind of production requires some absolute precision planning. According to the blueprint we're digging into, the projected annual yield here is between 480 to 600 pounds. That depends entirely on the specific strain you're cultivating, of course, but you're looking at 50 to 70 pounds per room running multiple cycles a year. Hitting that 600-pound mark, that's the ultimate goal, the absolute dream. And honestly, everything we're about to look at from this point forward is meticulously engineered to hit that one massive number.
Okay, let's break down the actual layout. The blueprint calls for 2 separate rooms, and they're pretty big, each one measuring 30 by 32 feet. Inside each of those rooms, the plan specifies 24 Lux LED 645 grow lights. And to get even more granular with the setup, they've got 6 lights per table, hovering right over 54 plants per table. Do the math on that and you get exactly 216 plants per room, meaning across the 2 rooms, you're managing 432 plants all at the same time. This right here is exactly why I say it requires factory-level infrastructure. You literally cannot manage 432 thirsty, growing plants with just a garden hose and a slightly open window.
Moving to section 2, building the room shell. This is all about crafting that foundational environment.
When we start tallying up the raw construction materials, you immediately see some massive investments. Look at this, over $10,000 is allocated just for truss score wall panels. Now, these are highly durable, moisture-resistant panels, which is absolutely crucial for an environment that's going to be incredibly humid and constantly sanitized. Then you've got your heavy-duty lumber, including BCI 40 joists and just hundreds of 2x6s, coming in at almost $8,000. Add in your specialized insulation to trap the climate, your moisture-resistant green board sheetrock, and you're essentially building a highly resilient, isolated shell. It's basically a high-tech agricultural bunker.
But, I absolutely love this little detail right here. Amidst all the thousands of dollars being dropped on specialized moisture-resistant walls and engineered lumber, the blueprint still carves out a flat $500 for just hardware and nails. It's such a great bit of contrast. Because at the end of the day, even when you're building a cutting-edge indoor factory, you still got a budget for a giant bucket of basic nails to hold the whole shebang together.
All right, Section 3, climate and power systems. These are really the veins and lungs of the operation. Getting the utility infrastructure balanced is make or break here. On the HVAC side, we're obviously not talking about slapping a standard window AC unit in there. No, we're talking about heavy-duty Quest 506 commercial dehumidifiers, massive 10-inch carbon filters, natural gas lines specially plumbed for CO2 generators, and 20 individual oscillating wall fans just to keep the air moving properly. That whole HVAC setup, roughly $10,200. Then over on the electrical side, you've got crazy multi-voltage requirements, 480 volt, 208 volt, 120 volt, and all of that is feeding into 2 highly sophisticated iGrow control panels. The electrical wiring alone is a massive $13,000 undertaking. And actually, let's just pause on a specific term from that last breakdown because it is absolutely vital to understand. A 480-volt electrical run. Let me be clear, standard residential houses do not use 480-volt power. This is heavy-duty, industrial-grade juice. But it's an absolute necessity for this blueprint because they have to run dozens of high-intensity LED lights simultaneously. If you tried to pull this off on standard house circuits, you'd blow the system instantly. This single line item right here proves we are looking at a true commercial manufacturing setup, definitely not some weekend basement project. That brings us to Section 4, Grow Tech and Supplies. Let's look at the capital equipment. Okay, brace yourself because you might get a little sticker shock as this running receipt keeps climbing.
An automated dosatron nutrient delivery kit, that's going to run you $6,500. The GrowLink controller adds another $1,600. Then we get to the infrastructure that actually holds the plants. The next-gen tables equipped with custom trellis racks come in at a jaw-dropping $17,000. And finally, you have to pay for the sun itself. 48 Lux high-intensity lights, which normally retail at $850 each, bring us to an eye-watering $40,800. The tens of thousands just literally pile up right before your eyes. But wait, there is a super savvy moment in this blueprint that I really want to point out. Whoever put this proposal together actually managed to secure 13 of those heavy-duty lights at a discounted rate of $550 each, instead of the retail $850. Now, that single logistical maneuver saved the operation $3,900. When you're dealing with a project where the margins are this incredibly tight, finding thousands of dollars in savings on capital equipment is a massive, massive win.
Now let's shift to the recurring operational expenses for just a single 60-day flower cycle. They're using the Athena Pro line for nutrients, which includes cleans, core, veg, and bloom, along with pH adjusters. Plus, there's a $500 budget for integrated pest management, or IPM, to handle mold and mildew control. But hands down, my absolute favorite part of this entire proposal is sitting right at the bottom. Alongside the $150 budget for professional lab coats to keep the whole environment perfectly sterile, they budgeted exactly $30 for scissors. It's just the perfect reminder that no matter how much high-end tech you buy, eventually a human being just needs a pair of scissors to physically cut the plants.
And finally, Section 5, the final price tag, the grand finale we've been building up to. When you step back and look at where all this massive capital is concentrated, the biggest slice of the pie by far goes straight to the lights and the tables. Basically, the physical hardware that supports and feeds energy directly to the plants. Right behind that, your next biggest hurdles are the construction shell, followed closely by the HVAC and electrical infrastructure. Surprisingly, the actual operational equipment and nutrients, while definitely expensive, make up a relatively small slice of the overall initial investment pie.
And here it is, the grand total. To build out this 2-room, high-yield indoor facility from scratch, the base cost came out to $112,593. But as any experienced builder knows, things absolutely will go wrong. So they very smartly baked in a 10% contingency factor to cover those unforeseen headaches, bringing the final, highly calculated price tag to exactly $122,593. It is a massive, meticulously planned investment.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative thought. At a build cost of roughly $123,000, how fast does a 600-pound annual yield actually pay for itself? Think about it. When you start running the math on the eventual wholesale or retail value of 600 pounds of premium product, the sheer scale of the return on investment becomes crystal clear. It is for sure a high-stakes agricultural venture, but when it's blueprinted out this precisely, you can see exactly why people are so eager to take the risk. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope this helped demystify the true ground-level costs of commercial indoor cultivation for you. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.